Obviously, you've been collecting watches for quite some time. So, can you tell us an interesting story that's related to your collection or to a specific watch?
Sure. It's funny. One of the most interesting stories I have is, and I'm holding the watch. So this Seiko right here, is it. The story behind it is very cool. Where my wife knew that I wanted this particular blue Seiko, and I would show her pictures of it on Instagram when I had my personal account, and I did not know that she went behind my back to go do more research on it. She remembered it. I don't know how she did it, but she remembered the look of the watch from the pictures I showed her on Instagram. And she started reaching out to different people on Instagram that had this watch. So there was a gentleman that she communicated with where she asked him, "Can you help me? I see that you posted a picture of the watch that my husband wants." And she thought that he sold watches, but he didn't. He was a watch modder. He like builds and creates different modifications to Seikos. And he goes, "I could help you find a good deal on it, but I can't sell you one because that's not what I do." So here's my wife in the background shopping for a watch, talking to some stranger on Instagram. Big story on how amazing the community is. Long story short, she got me this watch. I wore it, and now that a long time went by, let's say a year goes by, I buy my first Panerai, I create an Instagram page, and now I'm getting sucked into what different things can I do. So here I am talking to this random guy who builds Seikos, and now we're DMing each other, and I'm saying, "Oh man, I really like the crystal you put on the turtle, and this and that." And we're talking about it. Eventually, I'm going to have him work on a couple things on this watch. Next thing you know, I'm talking to my wife, and I said, "Hey, babe, I got to be honest. Like, who is the person that helped you pick this watch for me?" And she goes, "Oh, let me go find it." So she goes in her DMs, and she tells me it's Shadow Watchmaker, and he's a great account. Beautiful builds. He builds amazing Seikos. And that's who I've been talking to through DM for like weeks, just back and forth. "Hey, how much, So I'm friends with Shadow Watchmaker on my own, yet he was the guy that helped. I'm talking to him about this watch, not knowing that he actually helped her get this for me. Isn't that crazy? It's, I mean, it just goes to show, a beautiful saying that a lot of people say in the watch community is we come for the watches, but we stay for the people. And it's always about the people behind the watch. And that story is a true example of the people behind the watch.
And do you think that that community, the watch community, is so strong because people are more invested? I guess not everyone can become a watch collector because it's an expensive hobby at the end of the day.
That's another misconception, is it doesn't really take a lot of money either. It's the bond between loving a watch just because you love a watch. There's many accounts that are solely based on Casio, and all they have are Casio digital watches. And you could buy, one of my favorite pieces in my collection is $25 on Amazon. The Casio World Time, $25. But the community around the amount of people that like and photograph that $25 watch is absolutely amazing. And you wouldn't even think it. There's accounts that only showcase Seikos. So just imagine one guy has 30 different Seikos, but let's say he spent 400, 300, 500, or 1,000 if you're going very high-end Seiko on each one. He could have 30 different Seikos for the price of one really high-end Rolex, and his collection is just as coveted as the guy with one Rolex. Everyone, if you're a real collector, you appreciate every level of collecting possible, no matter what price range it is. And that's kind of like the understanding. When you meet someone that loves watches, you talk about it, because it's not, why do you have that Rolex? It's what got you into collecting. And then that story just goes and it connects people, because now you get to know the person, and then now you get to know a little bit more about their life, and now you have the same hobby. You realize you have the same hobbies outside of watches that you grow a bond together with. So that's kind of how people are so welcoming in the community. The first question is, what got you into watches? And then why is that your favorite one? Kind of like some of the questions you asked me. And these are the kind of things we talk about when we meet with complete strangers, and then we stay connected after that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful community that's filled with either high end, low end, middle, doesn't matter.